Welcome to Marshmellow Reads. Today I'm going to be telling you about the 7-ish books that I own that I actually need to read, because most of the books on these shelves I have not actually read, and I own them and I paid money for them, so I should probably actually read them. First up is an ebook that I own, Uzumaki by Junji Ito. A small foggy town on the coast of Japan is cursed. This town is contaminated with spirals, this hypnotic secret shape of the world. And just thinking about it makes my skin crawl. I haven't actually picked it up yet, but I need to just start it because I know once I pick it up, I won't be able to put it down. Next up, I have Iron Widow by Shiran J. Shao. Polyamory in a YA? Count me in. So it's kind of like Darling in the Franxx, if you've seen that anime. It's set in a sci-fi world inspired by a variety of people and aspects of Chinese history. And it looks like it's going to dig a bit deeper into gender and sexuality than Darling in the Franxx did. So I'm very excited about that. Basically, in this world, boys and girls are paired up to pilot these giant robots or mechs to fight invading aliens. But the thing is, a lot of the time, these girls are dying from the mental strain they're being put through to pilot these things. So I'm excited. I'm so excited. And this cover is absolutely gorgeous. It's one of my favorites that came out this year. It's so pretty. I also need to read The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin. This story starts with a massively bad day in human history. So first, a civilization that has stood for 1,000 years just collapses, and the majority of its citizens are killed in the aftermath. And on top of that, a massive rift tears into the earth, and it starts spewing enough ash to cover the entire world in darkness for years, or maybe even centuries. I have heard this described as a climate change dystopian fantasy, and I think I'm finally ready to read it. And I've got a romance on here. This is Sweet Hand by N.G. Peltier. Charisse, our main girl, has been cheated on by this awful musician ex-boyfriend, and now she is sworn off men for good, so she says. And she's been pretty good about avoiding the eligible bachelors her mother has been throwing at her. But now her sister has a wedding coming up, and she's the maid of honor, and she has to interact with the best man to do a bunch of stuff to prepare for the wedding. And yes, he may be very annoying, but he's also really hot. So, as romance novels do, they're gonna get together and it's gonna get spicy and it's gonna be exciting. And I can't wait to figure out how that goes for them. Next on my TBR list is She Who Became the Sun by Shelley Parker Chan. This has been marketed as Mulan meets the Song of Achilles. I haven't actually seen any reviews of it on BookTube or really anywhere, so I'm not entirely sure if this is an accurate description. But basically, the story is after a bandit attack, a young girl, our main character, uses her brother's identity to enter a monastery as a young male novice to train and stuff. And eventually she ends up joining a rebellion and is fighting to claim her own greatness. Because in this world, only boys have great destinies ahead of them. Girls, they're seen as useless. So it seems like a story of her trying to reclaim her own fate and make her own destiny. Okay, I literally just got this one yesterday. This is From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. My friend Jessie, who gave it to me, described it as Twilight for adults, but if it was good. So I'm excited. I was a pretty big Twilight fan in my youth, so I'm excited to see where this one goes. As far as I can tell, this story follows Poppy, a maiden who is forced to live a solitary life until she is given to the gods in her ascension. And Poppy is dreading this day, this fate of hers, even though it is considered to be the highest honor. And after that happens, she is given a new guard to guard her and stuff, and he's very attractive. and very alluring, and Poppy finds herself drawn to him even though she knows that acting on any impulses like this could make her lose favor with the gods. And I think there's vampires. I'm pretty sure there's vampires, so I'm excited. It is a thick one, so we'll see how long it takes me to get through this. And then the last book I have on this list is Spin by Robert Charles Wilson. One day, all the stars in the sky went out. They shined impossibly bright all at once and then just disappeared for some reason. That sounds pretty weird and confusing, and I think this happens in like the main character's childhood, and now like humanity has to learn to live with this black sky, and I'm intrigued. I want to know where did the stars go? What happened? Did the Earth move somewhere else, or did everything else leave Earth? Like, I don't know. It just sounds interesting. So those are all the books that I want to read immediately. But there's a lot of books, there's a lot of pages there, and I'm also in the middle of a bunch of other books, and I have some arcs that I need to read. I only have about a week or so of planned vacation for the holidays. I don't actually know how many of these I'm gonna get through, but I'm gonna try. I'm at least putting them in my line of sight, so when I think that I want to read a new book, or I'm done with a new one and I need to pick another one up, I see them. They're the first ones I see, and hopefully the first ones I grab for. And with that, I hope you all have an amazing week. Do something nice for yourselves, do something nice for others, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!